If you hate budgeting, you're doing something wrong. The number one mistake that people make when making a budget is creating a budget based on how they think they should spend their money instead of how they're actually spending their money. This is why budgets feel restrictive, frustrating, and impossible to stick to. But today, I'm going to show you how to fix that. First, most people make budgets based on how they think they should spend their money, but those numbers are often completely arbitrary. You may say that you're going to spend $200 per month on groceries because that seems like a reasonable amount, but once you track your spending, you realize you're actually spending $500 per month on groceries. So cutting down to $200 a month is probably unrealistic. And if you try to do it, eventually you're gonna miss your $4 kombucha and just totally give up your budget because it's too restrictive. This is going to start you on a cycle of feeling out of control with your money. But when you start to budget again to gain a feeling of control, then you can't stick with it. It's a vicious cycle. To break out of this cycle, you need a budget that gives you both structure and flexibility. You need to know that your monthly bills are taken care of, but also have some room in your budget for fun and spontaneous spending. This is where my 3-step budget comes in, and it's super simple. Rather than create a budget based on how you think you should spend your money, you need to create a budget based on how you are actually spending your money. Pull out your credit card and checking account statements and categorize your spending based on what you've spent in the last 3 months. These categories are personal and will depend on your own personal spending, but they'll likely include things like rent or mortgage, insurance payments, loan payments, eating out and social, and gift categories. Starting your budget this way will give you a much more realistic view of your spending habits. You should also split your categories into necessities and discretionary. Necessities are things that will cause you serious problems if left unpaid. Some examples are rent or mortgage, utility bills, insurance payments, loan payments, groceries, or gas. Discretionary expenses are things that will not cause you harm to go without. Eating out, shopping, new toys for the kids, or a new cell phone are all discretionary expenses. Now, I know none of us loves the idea of cutting discretionary spending, but try to be honest with yourself here. If you lost your job tomorrow, what would stay and what would go? Hopefully this will give you a better idea of what is truly a necessity and what is discretionary. The simplest way to create a budget is to list your income at the top, subtract your necessary expenses, and subtract any money you're going to put into savings and investments. If the number is positive, then you have leftover money for discretionary spending. If the number is negative, don't panic, but it's time to start figuring out where you can cut your budget. Now, an important note here when you're trying to reduce your expenses. You're going to feel tempted to just slash everything, but it's better to reduce your expenses gradually and realistically. If you used to spend $500 per month eating out, it's unrealistic to expect yourself to spend $0 next month. Instead, try to reduce your eating out budget to $400 for a few months. Then reduce it to $300. And maybe you'll finally settle on $250 per month. This still allows you the opportunity to eat out sometimes, but not as frequently as you used to. This is my favorite part of the 3-step budget method. You've created a realistic budget that covers your necessary expenses. You've set aside money for savings and investments, so you get to spend the rest of your money however you want. A lot of people think that budgeting means restriction, that it means tracking every dollar you spend and saving every dollar you earn. But that's not true. The whole point of a budget is to make sure that your necessities, like bills and savings, are taken care of first. Once they are, what's left is yours to spend on things that you enjoy. Whether that means grabbing a cup of coffee, going out with friends, or treating yourself to something nice. You have the flexibility to spend that money however you want. This way, you've balanced being responsible with your money with using your money to spend on things you enjoy. That's the power of a budget that works for you and not against you. If you like this video, remember to give me a like and subscribe. I release new money psychology videos every Wednesday. And leave me a comment. Do you struggle with making a budget? What do you think of my 3-step budget? Let me know below.